Stress is not the enemy, it is a test. It's a signal that you are pushing your limits, operating at a high level, and playing the game of life in a way that actually matters. Weak people look at stress as something to avoid, something to complain about, or something that controls them. That's the first mistake. The strongest people in the world, the ones who dominate in their field, have stress every single day. The difference? They control it. They use it. They don't let it break them. They make it their weapon. Your mind is the battlefield, and stress is just another enemy trying to infiltrate your mental fortress. The moment you allow stress to dictate your decisions, you've already lost. If you wake up and let anxiety take control, let problems seem bigger than they really are, or let emotions get the best of you, you will spend your entire life being controlled by external forces instead of being the one who controls them. The problem isn't stress itself, it's how you perceive it. People who crumble under stress have a weak internal dialogue. They wake up and immediately tell themselves stories about how hard things are, how overwhelmed they feel, and how unfair life is. But here's the truth. Your mind believes whatever you repeatedly tell it. If you constantly tell yourself that stress is a problem, then your body will react like it's under attack. You will freeze, hesitate, and spiral into inaction. On the other hand, if you train yourself to see stress as a challenge, a test of your ability, and a sign that you're in the right arena, your response changes completely. Think about the people who win at the highest levels. Athletes, business titans, warriors. They all deal with extreme levels of stress, far beyond what the average person encounters. But they don't fold under pressure, they thrive in it. Not because they have superhuman abilities, but because they control their mind. They recognize that stress is inevitable, but suffering is optional. They don't allow themselves to be victims of circumstance. They refuse to let emotions dictate their actions. They have conditioned their minds to see stress as an opportunity to get sharper, stronger, and more resilient. Most stress comes from uncertainty. People get stressed when they don't have control over a situation, but the truth is, you always have control over one thing: your response. No matter what happens, you can choose how to react. Most people let their emotions drive them into panic, doubt, and fear. Learners take a step back, observe the situation logically, and execute with precision. They do not react emotionally to problems. They analyze, strategize, and dominate. This level of control doesn't happen overnight. It requires mental conditioning. You have to train your brain the same way you train your body. Every time you face a stressful situation, instead of reacting with weakness, pause and reframe it. Tell yourself, this is happening for me, not to me. Stress is simply resistance, and resistance builds strength. If you never experience stress, you never grow. When you adopt this mindset, stress becomes nothing more than an indicator that you are on the right path. It's proof that you are in the game, moving forward, pushing limits. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they need to eliminate stress. That's impossible. The only people who have zero stress are those who do nothing with their lives. Stress is proof of ambition, of progress, of challenge. It's not something to fear, it's something to master. You either control your mind or your mind controls you. That's the reality. The moment you decide to take ownership of your mental state, everything changes. Stress stops being an obstacle and starts being fuel. It stops being a weight that slows you down and becomes the fire that propels you forward. The choice is yours. Stress is a direct result of how much responsibility you take over your life. The people who experience the most stress are the ones who refuse to take control, who sit around blaming everything and everyone for their problems instead of owning their situation. The second you start pointing fingers at your boss, your job, your family, society, or the economy, you've already lost. Because the more you externalize blame, the more powerless you become. You are essentially saying that your life is dictated by forces beyond your control. And if that's the case, then of course stress will eat you alive. But the truth is simple. Your life, your stress, your problems, they are all your responsibility. The problem with most people is that they want the rewards without the burden of accountability. They want success without the pressure, wealth without the struggle, and peace of mind without discipline. It doesn't work that way. You cannot expect to live a powerful, stress-free life if you refuse to take extreme ownership of everything that happens to you. The moment you shift your mindset from victim to leader, from excuse maker to solution finder, stress loses its grip on you. It stops being a burden and becomes a challenge, one that you are fully capable of handling. Think about the people who are the most stressed. They complain about their job, yet they never develop new skills or look for better opportunities. They worry about their financial situation, yet they waste hours every day on distractions instead of increasing their income. They feel overwhelmed with responsibilities, yet they refuse to organize their time properly. It's always the same pattern. People refusing to own their situation and then wondering why they feel powerless. The reality is stress is often a symptom of avoiding responsibility. The strongest people in the world don't waste energy blaming external factors. They look at every problem and ask, what can I do about this? That's the difference. Stress doesn't break them because they don't sit around complaining. They take action. If their body is weak, they train. If their business is failing, they adapt. If their relationships are struggling, they improve themselves. They don't expect the world to hand them solutions. They become the solution. When you take extreme ownership, you eliminate uncertainty. And uncertainty is what fuels stress. When people don't know what to do, when they feel like life is happening to them instead of because of them, they spiral into stress and anxiety. But when you own every situation, there is no uncertainty, only decisions. You don't waste time overthinking or feeling sorry for yourself. You move forward, you execute, you solve problems. That's how leaders operate, and that's why they don't crumble under pressure. Most stress comes from feeling out of control, and the easiest way to regain control is to own everything. If you're in a stressful situation, stop and ask yourself, what can I change? What can I get more control over? What can I do? You can cut all sorts of pieces off to see if things are different. Lower your stress level unnecessarily. 9 times out of 10, the problem isn't as overwhelming as it seems. It's just that people are too focused on complaining instead of fixing. Stress doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It disappears when you handle it. This is the difference between those who thrive under pressure and those who collapse. The ones who thrive understand that stress is simply a byproduct of high performance. They don't fear it. They don't let it consume them. They own it. Because when you own your stress, you own your life. And when you own your life, you become unstoppable. Your body is the foundation of everything in your life. If your body is weak, your mind will be weak. If you feel tired, sluggish, and unhealthy, stress will dominate you because you don't have the energy or resilience to fight back. Most people underestimate how much their physical state affects their ability to handle pressure. They sit around wondering why they feel anxious, overwhelmed, and mentally exhausted when the answer is right in front of them. They are not taking care of themselves. If you don't control what you put into your body, if you don't train it, if you don't push it to be stronger, you are setting yourself up for failure. Your body and mind are connected. When you feel strong physically, you feel strong mentally. That's why the most powerful individuals on the planet treat their body like a machine. They know that when they are physically sharp, their ability to handle stress skyrockets. There is no confusion about this. Your body dictates your performance in every area of life. Most people wake up every day with low energy, feeling weak and slow, and then they wonder why they can't deal with stress effectively. The answer is simple. Their body is not optimized for high performance. If you wake up eating garbage food, drinking excessive caffeine, skipping workouts, and sitting around all day, of course stress will consume you. You are making yourself an easy target. Stress preys on the weak. It attacks those who don't have the physical stamina to handle resistance. But the moment you start training your body, fueling it with the right nutrition and maintaining discipline in your physical habits, stress loses its power over you. Training is non-negotiable. It is not just about looking good. It is about being strong enough to handle life's challenges. If you are not exercising regularly, if you are not pushing your body to be stronger, you are making yourself vulnerable to stress. Strength, training, conditioning, endurance work, these are all tools that forge resilience. When your body is strong, your mind follows. When you push through pain in training, you build the discipline to push through stress in life. Weakness invites stress. Strength repels it. Food is fuel. Most people eat whatever they crave, not understanding that every meal is either making them stronger or weaker. You cannot expect to have a sharp mind and powerful energy levels if you are filling your body with processed junk, sugar, and chemicals that drain you. Nutrition is a weapon against stress. When you eat the right foods, whole, clean, nutrient-dense meals, your brain functions better, your mood stabilizes, and your ability to handle stress improves dramatically. Food is either your medicine or your poison, and most people choose poison every day without even realizing it. Sleep and recovery are just as important as training and nutrition. If you're constantly tired, if you're running on fumes, your ability to deal with stress will be non-existent. Your body needs rest to rebuild, to regenerate, to prepare for the next challenge. People brag about sleeping 4 hours a night like it's a badge of honor, but in reality, it's a shortcut to burnout. High performers understand that sleep is not a weakness, it is a necessity. You cannot function at the highest level if your body is running on empty. Proper recovery is what allows you to dominate day after day without breaking down. If you want to handle stress better, start by optimizing your body. Train hard, eat clean, sleep well, move daily. Treat your body like the powerful machine it is meant to be. The stronger you are physically, the stronger you will be mentally. Stress will always be there, but when your body is in peak condition, it will never break you. Stress and chaos go hand in hand. The more disorganized your life is, the more overwhelmed you will feel. Most people struggle with stress not because their problems are impossible to solve, but because they have no structure, no control, and no discipline over their time. They wake up with no plan, drift through the day reacting to whatever happens, and then wonder why they feel anxious, exhausted, and behind on everything. Stress thrives in disorder. If you want to eliminate unnecessary stress, you must master time management. Every single day you are given the same 24 hours as everyone else. The difference between those who succeed and those who crumble under pressure is how they use those hours. People who are constantly stressed are usually the ones who waste the most time. They procrastinate, they distract themselves, they spend hours on social media, they engage in meaningless conversations, and then panic when deadlines approach or when they realize they haven't handled their responsibilities. This cycle of avoidance creates stress. The solution is simple. Control your time, control your life. The first step is setting clear priorities. Not everything in life deserves your attention. People who are always overwhelmed are usually the ones who say yes to everything. They take on tasks that don't matter, they let other people dictate their schedule, and they spend their time on things that do not move them forward. If you don't set priorities, the world will set them for you. You must decide what is important and what is not. If a task, a person, or an obligation is not helping you improve or grow, it should not be taking up your time. Learn to say no. Learn to eliminate distractions. Learn to focus only on what truly matters. A powerful way to manage stress is through structured planning. The most successful people don't wake up and wing it. They have a clear roadmap for the day, the week, and even the month ahead. They wake up knowing exactly what needs to be done, and they execute without hesitation. If you don't plan your day, you will waste it. If you don't have a schedule, you will always feel like you are playing catch up. This is how most people live, reacting instead of acting. And that reactionary mindset creates stress because there is no sense of control. When you plan ahead, you eliminate uncertainty. And uncertainty is one of the biggest sources of anxiety. Another crucial factor in handling stress is eliminating time wasters. People say they don't have time, yet they spend hours on their phone, binge watching shows, or engaging in meaningless conversations. The truth is, they don't lack time, they lack discipline. If you audit your daily routine, you will likely find multiple hours being wasted on things that don't serve you. Time is your most valuable asset. You can't afford to spend it recklessly. Cut out distractions, reduce social media usage, stop scrolling endlessly. These are habits of people who are stressed because they are unproductive. The more you waste time, the more pressure builds up. The only way to break free from that is to take full control of every hour in your day. Execution is everything. It's not enough to have a plan, you must follow through. Many people make schedules, set goals, and create to-do lists, but they never execute. They spend so much time preparing that they never take action. This is another way stress builds up. Overthinking leads to inaction. Inaction leads to pressure piling up until it feels unbearable. The solution is simple. Stop hesitating. Stop overanalyzing. Do what needs to be done. The more disciplined you are with your time, the less stress you will experience. Managing time is not just about being more productive, it's about regaining control over your life. Stress is often the result of feeling like things are slipping away, like you are running out of time, like you are constantly behind. But when you structure your days with precision, when you eliminate distractions, when you take action without hesitation, stress loses its power over you. You don't have to live in chaos. You don't have to feel overwhelmed. Master your time and you will master your stress. Stress and financial instability go hand in hand. One of the biggest causes of anxiety, depression, and constant pressure is money, or more specifically, the lack of it. Most people wake up every day stressed because they are living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, or constantly worried about how they will cover their expenses. They feel trapped, overwhelmed, and powerless. But the truth is, financial stress is avoidable. It is not some random force that happens to you. It is a direct result of the choices you make, the skills you develop, and the discipline you apply. If you want to eliminate financial stress, you must take full control of your financial situation and start making more money. The biggest mistake people make is relying on a single source of income. They work a job, depend on their paycheck, and assume that it will always be enough. But what happens when unexpected expenses hit? What happens when the economy shifts? What happens if that job disappears? Stress skyrockets because there is no backup plan, no financial cushion, and no freedom. Relying on one income stream is one of the riskiest financial decisions you can make. The solution is simple. Create multiple sources of income. Learn new skills, start a side hustle, invest, sell something, offer a service, do whatever it takes to build financial security. The more money you have coming in from different directions, the less stress you will feel. Most people don't have a money problem, they have a discipline problem. They spend recklessly, live beyond their means, and then panic when the bills come in. If they buy things they don't need, waste money on temporary pleasures, and then wonder why they are always broke. If you don't control your spending will control you. You must develop financial discipline. Stop buying things to impress people. Stop wasting money on things that don't move you forward. Start saving, start investing, start being intentional with every dollar. Money is a tool, and if you don't use it wisely, it will destroy you. The fastest way to reduce financial stress is to increase your earning potential. Most people settle for low-paying jobs and never develop the skills that would allow them to earn more. They accept whatever paycheck they are given and assume that's all they're worth. That mindset is what keeps people struggling. The truth is, your income is a reflection of your value in the marketplace. If you want to make more money, you must increase your value. Learn high-minute skills, master sales, negotiation, marketing, investing, or anything that makes you more valuable. The more skills you have, the more money you can demand. The more money you make, the less financial stress you experience. Another key factor in financial stability is having a plan. Most people live without a financial roadmap. They don't budget, they don't track their expenses, and they don't set financial goals. They live reactively, spending money as it comes, and then wonder why they are constantly under financial pressure. This is not how wealthy, stress-free individuals operate. They have a clear plan. They know exactly how much they need to save, how much they need to invest, and what their financial targets are. They don't leave their financial future to chance. If you want to remove financial stress, you must take full control of your money with a clear plan. Financial stress is not something you have to live with. It is something you can eliminate by making smarter choices. Develop skills, create multiple income streams, control your spending, and have a solid financial plan. Money problems don't go away by complaining about them. They go away when you take massive action. The stronger your financial position, the less stress you will feel. The less stress you feel, the more freedom you will have. And ultimately, financial freedom is what allows you to live on your terms. Instead of constantly worrying about survival, your environment is shaping you every second of the day, whether you realize it or not. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, and the content you consume are all programming your mind. Most people don't understand this, and that's why they stay trapped in cycles of stress, anxiety, and negativity. They live in toxic environments, surround themselves with weak, complaining individuals, and feed their minds with distractions, gossip, and useless information. Then they wonder why they feel overwhelmed, drained, and mentally exhausted. The truth is simple. Your environment is either fueling your stress or eliminating it. If you want to handle stress better, you must take full control of your surroundings. One of the biggest sources of stress is the people you interact with. Most people are constantly surrounded by negativity. Coworkers who complain all day, family members who discourage them, friends who waste time, and social media influencers who promote nonsense. If you expose yourself to negativity every day, it will seep into your mind, and stress will become a natural part of your life. The solution? Cut out the negativity. You are not obligated to entertain weak, draining, and toxic people. If someone is constantly negative, constantly bringing problems instead of solutions, constantly filling your mind with doubts and limitations, they need to go. Your energy is too valuable to be wasted on people who are dragging you down. If you surround yourself with winners, high performers, and problem solvers, your stress levels will drop significantly. Why? Because these people think differently. They don't panic when problems arise, they find solutions. They don't complain about life, they take control of it. They don't waste time on nonsense, they focus on progress. Being around strong, disciplined, and driven people will change the way you see stress. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you will learn to embrace challenges. Instead of complaining, you will take action. Instead of feeling like life is happening to you, you will start realizing that life is happening because of you. Your physical environment matters just as much as your social circle. A chaotic, messy, and disorganized space creates mental clutter. If your workspace is filled with distractions, if your home is cluttered and unstructured, if you are constantly surrounded by noise and interruptions, your mind will mirror that chaos. Stress thrives in disorder. The more you clean up your environment, the more control you will feel over your life. Keep your space clean, minimal, and organized. Remove distractions. Make your environment a place that promotes clarity and focus rather than confusion and stress. Another key factor in shaping your environment is what you feed your mind. Every piece of content you consume is either making you stronger or weaker. If you spend your time watching meaningless entertainment, scrolling through negative news, and engaging in pointless debates online, you are feeding your brain with stress and nonsense. Instead, be intentional about what you consume. Read books that make you smarter. Listen to podcasts that inspire action. Watch content that educates and empowers you. Your mind is like a computer. Garbage in, garbage out. If you constantly fill it with negativity, stress will dominate your life. If you program it with strength, wisdom, and discipline, stress will become insignificant. Taking control of your environment is not optional. It is necessary if you want to live a powerful, stress-free life. Eliminate toxic people. Surround yourself with high-value individuals. Clean up your space. Feed your mind with strong, valuable information. Your environment is shaping you whether you like it or not. The only question is, are you letting it shape you into someone strong, or are you allowing it to break you down? The choice is yours. Stress is inevitable. No matter how disciplined, strong, or successful you become, challenges will always appear. The difference between those who collapse under pressure and those who thrive is perspective. Most people view stress as a curse, something that weakens them, something they wish they could avoid. This mindset is exactly why they struggle. They resist stress instead of using it. But those who dominate life see stress differently. They embrace it, adapt to it, and grow from it. They understand that stress is not the enemy, it is a tool. The moment you shift your mindset and start using stress to your advantage, everything changes. Stress is a sign of responsibility. Weak people complain about pressure because they don't understand that it comes with growth. The more responsibility you take on, the more stress you will experience. But this isn't something to fear, it is something to harness. If you are feeling pressure, it means you are in the game, pushing forward and challenging yourself. The only people who feel no stress are those doing nothing with their lives. No goals, no ambitions, no movement, just existing. That's not living. Stress is a privilege because it means you are in a position that demands something from you. It means you are evolving. Most people let stress paralyze them because they focus on the problem instead of the solution. When things get tough, they overthink, complain, or shut down. But this is a weak approach. The reality is simple. Problems don't disappear when you dwell on them. They disappear when you take action. Stress is your body's way of telling you that something needs to be handled. It is not a signal to retreat, it is a signal to move forward aggressively. When you start associating stress with action instead of fear, your entire life shifts. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you feel focused. Instead of shutting down, you execute. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to become stronger. The human body adapts to stress. This is how muscles grow, how endurance builds, and how the mind becomes sharper. If you lift heavy weights, your body responds by growing stronger. If you challenge your mind with difficult situations, it learns to operate under pressure. The more stress you face and conquer, the more resilient you become. This is why the strongest individuals in the world don't run from stress, they seek it. They intentionally put themselves in uncomfortable situations because they understand that discomfort breeds strength. The people who crumble under stress are the ones who avoid discomfort their entire lives. They stay in their comfort zone, never push themselves, and then when life inevitably throws problems their way, they are unprepared. They have never trained their mind to handle pressure. This is why embracing stress is so important. You must train yourself to operate under pressure so that when life gets tough, you are already hardened and ready. The more you expose yourself to controlled stress, whether through hard training, disciplined habits, or taking on bigger challenges, the more unshakable you become. Another key to handling stress is controlling your emotions. Weak people let their emotions dictate their actions. They get overwhelmed, panic, and make impulsive decisions. But strong individuals remain calm, calculated, and composed under pressure. They understand that stress is not an excuse to break down, it is a test of mental control. When things go wrong, take a step back, breathe, and ask yourself, what is the next move? Remove emotion from the equation and approach stress logically. The second you let emotions take over, you lose. The second you master control over your reactions, you win. Stress is not something to avoid, it is something to master. If you run from it, it will control you. If you use it, it will build you into something unstoppable. Start seeing stress as a tool, an opportunity, and a test of your strength. The more you train yourself to thrive under pressure, the more powerful you become. Stress will never break you unless you allow it to.